Back with Gyan and animation.
Hello, my name is Gyan, and for my 8th grade project, I chose to learn animation. I've had my eye on animation for a while now. The art of making a moving drawing just seemed exciting to me. My mentor for this project was Kai Larson, a professional animator. I met with Kai every week of January and February and spent over 40 hours on this project. For my animations, I used two programs, Procreate and Rough Animator. To first learn the basics of animation, my mentor told me to draw a bouncing ball. This is a great first exercise because I was able to get familiar with the program I was using and get the basic movement of the shape. When animating something, you have to think of the physics of the item so it looks real. Will it gain momentum and will it slow down at the top? Here is my animation of a bouncing ball. As you can see, it accelerates, has a bounce to it, and slows down at the top. Here is another animation of the bouncing ball that I did, only to the side. It follows the same principles. There are two main ways to animate, pose to pose and straight ahead. Pose to pose is where you draw the key frames and then do the ones in between. Straight ahead is where you draw frame after frame, seeing where it will turn out. Pose to pose is usually preferred because of how much more control you have. Instead of worrying about where your animation is going with each drawing, you can already see. You also have an easier time fixing things as you can change each frame individually, but with straight ahead, if you messed up early on, you might have to redo the whole thing. Straight ahead is good for things that are unpredictable, like water and fire though. Here is an animation of water I did, using straight ahead. For my next animation, my mentor told me to add a secondary movement to my ball, like a tail. This is where it gets a bit trickier because you have to make the tail look real and have it look like it's moving with the ball. Here is that animation with a ball, the tail. When adding a secondary movement like this, you can usually use straight ahead because it follows the main object. At this point in my project, I had switched from using Procreate to Rough Animator for more accessibility and control while animating. For my next animation, I did the walk cycle. There are three main positions to the walk cycle: a contact frame, a passing position, and another contact frame. Contact frames are when both legs are touching the ground, and passing positions are when the front leg is straight and the back leg is passing it. In between those are up and down positions, where the back leg is on either side of the front leg. Here is my animation of the walk cycle. As you can see, I've highlighted one leg so you can see the switch between them. Here is another animation I did of a person landing. It was just a practice though, and it actually follows the same exact principles as the ball, as it accelerates and has a similar landing. This project was a great learning experience. My highlights were getting done with the animation and feeling accomplished. The hardest part of this project was getting used to the digital art and learning the programs. I'm going to continue animation as a hobby as I'm still just learning the basics and have so much more to learn and do. It's overwhelming, but I'm excited all the same. For my next animation, I will probably work on expressions. In closing, I want to thank my parents for being supportive and finding me a mentor. I want to thank the school for giving me this opportunity and help to be creative and learn a new skill. I want to thank Kristen for all her help with tech support. I want to thank Mr. Monda for all my help on my presentation. And last but not least, I want to thank Kai. Kai, I want to thank you for teaching me animation. I don't think I would have even known where to start if it wasn't for you. You've taught me so much and been there for every question I've ever had. Thank you. Are there any questions? Connor?
Which one is like harder to use, the straight ahead or wait, what's the other one?
Post to post.
Yeah, which one is like harder?
Well, there's not necessarily one that's harder than the other. It's just that post to post is usually better because like I mean, actually, post is usually easier because how much control you have, and it's just easier. You usually with straight ahead, you have to redo a lot more stuff, but with pose to pose, you already can see, and it's just easier to like set out the whole animation. Taya?
How do you make something get like faster?
How to get faster? Faster, you usually add less frames, and when it's slower, you add more frames to slow it down.
All right, we have a question from fourth grade.
Hi, my name's Trevelyo. What kind of apps or stuff did you use to make that?
What kind of apps? I use Procreate and Rough Animate.
Okay.
We have a question from seventh grade.
Hi, I'm Rosetta, and I was just wondering, like, which one was like the most fun to make?
What was the most fun?
My most fun animation. Probably the water one. I like the water one.
It was
fun. Though it took like the longest.
And Gyan, do you plan on doing more animation?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna continue with my mentor or something like that. Yeah.
One more, Aiden.
Aiden?
Do you think that you would like want to go and animate for big projects later on?
I'm not really sure yet. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely think of it as a hobby that I'm gonna pursue just for fun.
Congratulations. Thanks, everybody, and if you can, join us again at noon for our last round of eighth grade projects. Have a good rest of your day.